Welcome to Iberia, I am Wolf, and today we'll be taking a look at why gunpowder in Warhammer absolutely sucks. Or does it? If you follow the YouTube channel Volound and you haven't played Warhammer yet, you might be under the impression that gunpowder units are simply trash. Not their power necessarily, but their mechanics. That gunpowder was done better in Medieval 2 and Shogun 2. But is this the actual truth? Well, to be fair, whether the units feel good or bad is completely subjective, but some other things are not, such as why don't all gunpowder units have a reload animation? That is objectively rather untasteful, innit? But Volound isn't the only one talking about this. There are many others echoing this sentiment, so let's analyze the main criticisms of gunpowder in the Total War Warhammer series. There are three large criticisms that I think are worth addressing. First, there's the mechanical side of the unit, how the player uses it and how the unit works. In this, there are a couple of points to be made. The shape of the unit for gun infantry doesn't impact the number of models that can fire at a time. This means that a unit's models can fire over one another, and this also means that terrain inclination becomes irrelevant. If you have a 2 rank deep or a 10 rank deep musketeer formation in a slope going up or down, none of this actually matters, all models fire regardless. Therefore, any firing drill added into the game would have been irrelevant and as such isn't actually implemented. There is no kneel fire, fire and advanced or fire by rank mechanics that historical players know so well from Medieval 2, Empire and Shogun 2. The second point is about animations. Gunpowder units have no reload animations, no cannons, no muskets, no rifles. I'm not going to say for all units, but the Empire clearly has no need for reloads because there are no reload animations. That is a fail, big fail. And finally, I want to talk about the sound quality. The overall argument here is that gunpowder actually felt much more impactful in earlier titles, especially in Medieval 2. When guns fire in that game, the camera shakes and the sound of cannons and muskets firing is loud and clear, thundering throughout the battlefield, while in Warhammer, it doesn't feel that a gun or a cannon firing has that much of, how do you say, oomph. Probably the best not a word for it, actually. Oomph. So, are these criticisms correct? Are they right? Does this make gunpowder a joke in the Warhammer series? Does it make gunpowder units less fun, functional, immersive, engaging? Well, my honest opinion is that gunpowder units are still fun, functional, and engaging, simply not as immersive. In fact, I actually like gunpowder units more, especially artillery. Sacrificing immersion for fun and functionality is a compromise I'm more than happy to work with, especially in a fantasy title. I believe that the lack of animations and poor sound design are regretful and a massive oversight that I hope CA fixes in the future. Actually, hope isn't really the right word, wish is, because I'm sure they will not do it. However, regarding the unit mechanics, I cannot see it as a step back in the series. In historical games, Creative Assembly tried to represent gunpowder units as well as they could, or at least I think they did. Great sound design, interesting, important, and historically relevant unit mechanics, and finally, engaging and immersive reload and firing animations. In Warhammer, the complexity of the battlefield means that some unit-specific complexity had to be left behind. We have more unit types, magical abilities on lots of units, fast-paced battles, and having to worry about firing drills and unit formations shape would probably overwhelm the player even more, further increasing the learning curve. This could work as a barrier to entry or as a drop the game situation for some players, especially when one of the recommended beginner factions is the Empire, a faction that makes use of gunpowder units. Furthermore, Warhammer is based on, well, the tabletop Warhammer game, and a unit of rifles will fire in its entirety every time it attacks. Correct me if I am wrong about this, please, but assuming that this is true, it makes sense that the same would happen in Total War Warhammer. I can, however, see that this last part is sort of a weak argument, okay guys, so don't read too much into it. That said, I believe that gunpowder units were done like this by design, and it's a design choice I can get behind because it allows me to worry about other things on the battlefield. I don't really have to worry if I'm getting the most out of my rifle unit in every possible different situation. All models will fire a projectile regardless. Is this immersive? Well, not really. Is it practical? Yeah. Is it fun? When you see those bullets hit and the enemy just flies away, hell yeah, that is fun. That is fun. If this was a historical Total War, it would have been inexcusable. But since it's fantasy, I'm essentially giving the developers a pass. Well, actually, more than that. It was the correct design decision in my view, of course. But what is your view? Have you ever played the Warhammer series? Is this an issue for you? Let me know in the comments below. I have been Wolf, stay wonderful, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.